Today we are working on a DIY Shabby farmhouse frame decor piece. Hello, my name is Linda. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, you might want to go ahead and hit that red subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on a single video from me. Today's video will be focused on using product from Reneabouquets.com, so let's get started. This is an old frame that I did a paper craft design on years ago. It hung up for 4 or 5 years and it's been in my attic for 4 or 5 years, about ready to go into the garage sale pile, so now you have the whole story. And I'm going to go ahead because I thought of an idea that I could recycle this and freshen it up a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and remove all the pieces including the glass for now. Of course the glass will go back in, and I'm going to remove all these little hooks as well because I don't need those either. I'm going to paint it with this French linen chalk paint. I actually off camera end up adding a little bit of gray to it to give it a grayish tone, and I painted 3 coats, and this is our base coat color. I really want to cover up that burgundy on this frame here because don't really need that to shine through. Doesn't go with the color palette I'll be using. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of coats of this Debbie's Design Diary DIY chalk paint and white swan, my favorite paint, and my favorite 1-inch round zebra brush. Oh, I just love these supplies, love this paint, this chalk paint. It's awesome. I'm going to do a couple of coats on here. Actually, I think I end up doing like 3 coats. And you don't need much paint, as I'm showing you here, that little bit, how much coverage I got just using that little tiny bit on there. But I want the 3 coats because I just want it to be nice and covered really, really well. And later on we'll be doing kind of a wet distress method here in just a few minutes after the paint dries. I want to make sure I get every edge of it inside and out, not worrying about the back. Before we go to wet distress, I've got these square dowel pieces and I'm using my miter saw here and I'm cutting them to fit the back of the frame, and we'll get to that in a minute, but I need to paint these as well. So I'm going to paint 2 sides only, just a couple of coats of the white, set that aside, let it dry for now. This is going to help kind of clean the back of the frame up once everything is together. Alright, so we're going to wet distress. I take an old rag. It's got a lot of, old paint and stuff on it. Lint-free rag. You're going to dump it in the water, and then you're just going to basically rub on your dry paint. Now this method works best with a water-based paint. You can use it on an acrylic paint, but you're going to be scrubbing and really putting some hard scrubbing into it, and it shouldn't be that difficult. And you always want to make sure that your rag is, or a brush, you could use a brush, but I usually use a rag, that your rag is nice wet, not sopping wet, but a nice wet, and you just really rub real easy like I'm doing here. And it really works well when you have stuff like this frame where it's got a lot of decor on it, and things like that. You can see how that wet distress is looking there. I love it because it's a soft distress technique. You don't, if you sand, you kind of get those harsh lines from the sandpaper, but this just looks so much nicer just doing that rubbing technique, and you just get that real soft rub out of it. I really like working on this technique. You just continue this process, hitting all the high areas you want to hit, and then when you're done, you've got this nice distressed look. With something like this, I don't always, but with this, because I'm going to start gluing embellishments and stuff to the frame itself, it's usually nice for something you're going to handle a lot for a home decor piece to seal it, either with a spray sealer or like this wax that I'm using by Americana Decor. Not really my favorite wax, but I have it in my stash. Basically, you just brush it on here. It dries very quickly, and then you take a dry brush or another kind of dry lint-free towel and you just buff it out to the sheen that you want it to be. So now just a quick changeover. I'm printing out on my Cricut machine the quote that I'm going to use on the glass part of the frame here. I don't show it a whole lot, show weeding it out and getting it ready because it is white and it just kind of interfered with the camera. So I did all that part off of camera for you. And so we're just going to get this on here. We're going to rub it down, and then I'll just gently start to pull up the transfer tape, and I have to kind of keep pulling it up and then, you know, kind of rubbing the letters down because I am working on glass. They want to pull up easy, but, you know, I'll spare you all of it. I'll show you a little bit of it, but you know, I don't want to bore you with the details. And I do apologize, we're working with glass here, so as you can see down at the bottom, you're going to see my light boxes up overhead throughout this process. Got it all ready, making sure it's all nice and stable on my glass. And then we're going to go ahead and use Beacon Fabri-Tac glue and get this glass in. You want to make sure that you kind of add your glue not really close to the edge because it will leak out onto your glass and kind of make a mess. You kind of want to put it in the corner of the frame there so your glass, when you push on it and your glass rests on it, it doesn't smush it out to the front where you'll be able to see it. Okay, I'm getting that all ready and nice and straight in there. So everything's all glued in. Now I'm going to put down a little piece of paper here, only because this frame decor will go for sale in one of my bazaars, and I want the back to look clean, and I'll be gluing flowers and stuff to the glass, and I don't want all those glue globs and show on the back of it. You know, that looks tacky to me. I want it to look finished off, so I rather that, you know, whoever buys this sees a nice piece of just kind of white scrapbook paper there. So now we're back to these wooden dowels, and I am gluing them in so that it finishes off where we glued the glass in. You know, I don't want all that glue to show either, and I want it to look nice and finished around the edges of that glass. I don't bother painting the back, it looks fine, but I just want the area where the glass is all glued in, like I said, to look finished. Some glue does kind of sneak up around the wooden dowels, but I get that all off and it looks really nice when it's done. I'll show you here in just a minute. Here we go, all nice and finished off. And now we can go to the front. Start working with our product. This is just a metal hot air balloon. I think I got it at Michael's a long time ago in a little embellishment pack, and I have just a few left. I chose things that would kind of go with the quote, "Love grows best in houses just like this." This is a Reneabouquets Victorian tarnished silver pocket watch, and I'm gluing that in there as well. And this is just a little resin clock. Again, I think I got it from one of the craft stores years ago. These are Reneabouquets mulberry paper flowers that I'll be using. The colors are peach, champagne, and white. These are Prima Marketing flowers from the Lavender collection and Midnight Garden collection. I'll have all the links down below to the product I use from Reneabouquets. And now I'm going to just start gluing around that bottom edge. This is a little wood slice. My last project I did for Reneabouquets, I added like a wood slice and a little like wood stick. I thought it was so cute. I'm bringing that back again. This is kind of similar to the last project I did. I mean, in terms of decor and things, but I just still had, you know, some of those supplies out, and I just wanted to use them again. So these are Reneabouquets Beautiful Board Laser Cut Chipboard. These are fall tuck-ins. These are Beautiful Bit skeleton leaves, showing you all the product here. This is Circuit Elements. I'll be using a small piece from that. You get 2 in a set. These are Beautiful Bit scroll hearts. And these are the words Sparkle, Dust, Fairy, and Moment. I'll be using the word Moment. And again, all the links will be down below. And I'm just using these leaves out of the Fancy Fall tuck-ins. They come in a set of 23, and they have cute little acorns and stuff in them. And I'm just going to be laying out all my flowers here. Again, the peach, champagne, and the white, and then those Prima Marketing flowers. Just adding a little bit at the bottom. Here's where our shabbiness comes in on our farmhouse project. Adding a couple pieces of cut up cardboard because that flower needs to lay a little bit level up against the side of the frame there. This is a resin flower from my stash. All these things that are like resin and stuff, you can get these at, like, you know, the main craft stores. Renee does have some resin pieces also in her shop by Prima Marketing Inc. So if you just click on the Prima Marketing tab on the .com or the Etsy shop, you'll see all the things that she has in Prima Marketing, including some resin pieces, as I said. Got my stick laying down here, adding my flowers up and around it. It's my little log. Here comes another little wood slice. So wood slices and a wood log, I'll say. The little wood log I got from Dollar Tree in a little package of those sticks like last fall. And the little wood slices, I actually had some of those in my stash. Someone gave them to me. Here comes in another little leaf from the Fancy Fall Tuck-In set. And there's a little piece I cut from that Elements circuit board there. I'm just going to add that in for a little bit of interest. Coming in with a skeleton leaf, going to kind of tuck it in my flowers here since we've layered flowers so much. And then also coming in with the scroll heart here. These are beautiful bits. The beautiful bits come, they're really tiny, and they come in usually a jar, a small jar, so you get a ton in each set. This is a little metal home sign. I chose words. This is a little metal together sign that would kind of go with the quote on the glass part of this frame. And this is a little resin window shutter. Most of all these things I use are by Prima Marketing Ink. This is a little twine bow, and I just took 3 pieces, white twine, and tied them together in a bow. Give it a little more texture. And I'm going to add in this moment word here. This is the small size. Right up on top of the peach flowers. I like it because it's there and it's subtle. And this is a Reneabouquets Tiny Treasures Butterfly in Dusty Peach. And the Tiny Treasures, you get a set of 5. They're tinier butterflies. I'm going to be adding some texture with the Prima Marketing 3D matte gel, these art stones, and even some sequins. In this 3D matte gel, it is a matte shade, so when it's dry, it's transparent. It's not shiny. It's kind of like a glue and a sealer. And I usually just dip my paintbrush into it, and then I sprinkle the stuff on top that I want, and then I just let it set and dry. And I love using these kind of sequins. These are them right there, and these little mini art stones. They add just such great texture, the shabbiness to it, still keeping it kind of farmhouse friendly. Again, I'll have all the links down below to everything I use from Reneabouquets, as well as all the links to like the .com if you'd like to go check out what is in the shop, and Etsy, Facebook, Artists with an Edge Facebook group if you'd like to join there for more inspiration from artists around the world using Reneabouquets product, as well as other artists on the design team with myself. I will have close-up photos on Reneabouquets blog and close-up photos on my blog if you'd like to see this a little bit more up close and personal. If you missed my last design team project, I'll have that link down below for you. Make sure you check that out. Leave a comment. Let me know what you liked best about this project. Did you like the color palette on it? Do you like how it's kind of a see-through, like almost window type decor frame? Do you like the shabbiness of it, the farmhouse of it? Just give me your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Give this video a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to my channel. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.